Anthony Lucas catch a Hicks, and he runs 87 yards, I believe. He's special.
Football has been in my blood, has been in it since I've been a little boy, and to be able to coach guys at this high school level has been awesome. I try not to coach on the high school level. I try to coach at the highest level, and the kids have been responding well.
Anthony Lucas, number 80.
All right, let's go right to the phone lines and bring in our next guest, which is former Razorback wide receiver Anthony Lucas. Anthony, good morning. Coach, I appreciate you making some time for us.
Hey, good morning. Please don't say me appreciate me making time for you guys. I appreciate you all having me on. It's a pleasure. Yeah,
absolutely.
My pleasure.
Coach. Absolutely. So, obviously, you have a great deal of knowledge and experience and skill when you played the wide receiver position. And we opened the show this morning talking about how important the quarterback position is, not only the SEC, but for Arkansas moving forward. With some of the weapons that Arkansas has, whether it be Trey Knox, Mike Woods, Traylon Burks, what do you think about these guys just from watching them last season? And how do you think they can progress in year number 2 for a lot of these freshmen, and then just under Kendall Briles?
I think, with bringing Coach Briles in, I think they got a great chance, and we're going to have a lot more opportunities to flourish out there on the football field, because you mentioned, like you said, the crew that you mentioned, those guys are very talented, and we only saw a snippet of what some of those guys can do, Trey Knox and Woods, for sure. So I'm just anxious to see how all that's going to come together once we get through with this pandemic. And I know right now it's hurting us though, because with Coach Pittman coming in and Coach Briles and all these new guys coming in, I feel like these kids needed that spring to learn the offense and to get out on the field to see how things are a little bit different with different coaches. But hopefully these guys are doing some of the things that they can that they need to do to prepare themselves for when they're able to get back on the field. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
Coach, it really doesn't seem like that the chemistry between the wide receivers and the quarterbacks have gelled the last couple years. And I know that you initially started out with Barry Lunny Jr. and then you moved on with Clinton Sterner. How important was the chemistry between you guys in helping you out in your career at Arkansas?
Man, it's very important, because one thing with Barry Lunny and I, of course I was a freshman and I wasn't expecting to get a lot of balls, but I remember that there were times when I was wide open. I remember the Alabama game when he in '95 when he jumped back, when he came, he was looking towards J.J. Metters and Anthony Eubanks, who were great receivers that played at the University of Arkansas. Then I was over there on the side, just jumping up, doing jumping jacks, waiting on him to throw the ball to me. And that reasoning was because he had more experience with them, and their chemistry was together. And and as the year progressed, he started feeling a lot more confident with me. And then after Barry left and we moved on in my career with Clint Sterner, Clint and I gelled right off the bat when he got there, because it basically, things like that, building a relationship with quarterbacks really starts in the off season, in the spring. When you're working hard, when you're asking the quarterback, man, let's go throw routes, let's go work on this, let's go work on that. And I think that's where the chemistry is built, when you work with your quarterback leading up to the season, not just when it's time for spring, when it's time for fall football, but when you put in the extra work, staying late after practice, coming early before practice, asking your quarterback to meet you in the film room and let's talk and let's watch film and do this and that. So that's where the chemistry and when the chemistry is built.
Anthony Lucas, thanks. Anthony Lucas with us here on the Morning Rush, former Razorback great. You went through a transition from Danny Ford and his staff that recruited you there to Houston Nutt and that staff coming in. Take us back in that time. And these players right now are still trying to figure out what the expectations are. Now they can't meet with their coaches. It's on Zoom. It's all building those relationships. Take us back to that transition following 97 into 98, and what were the challenges for you then as a young Razorback trying to be a leader and figure out these new coaches?
Well, with me, the challenge I was faced with when Coach Ford was getting ready to leave was I hope that Fitzhill don't leave, because that's who recruited me. He was my receivers coach, and he recruited me. And And I was struggling with that. Then wasn't knowing what was going to happen, and then bringing a new guy in, how that was going to be. That was a difficult time. But as far as the transitioning to a new coach, when Coach Nutt came in, man, it was time, and we were ready for a change. So I wasn't too, like I said, it wasn't too bad, wasn't too worried as much, but worried about my position coach. And when Coach Hill, when Coach Nutt decided to keep Coach Hill on staff, I mean, it was very easy for me. But with the guys that's dealing with the different transition now, like the receivers this year, Coach Stepp is coming back, who's an unbelievable, great receivers coach. I think those guys feel at home. I think they're not as worried, or they're comfortable. But developing a relationship with your offensive coordinator and the rest of the coaches, that's something that they're going to have to kind of, I know it's not difficult doing everything on Zoom and Skype and all this stuff, but you're just going to have to trust the guys and buy into the system and what the coaches are going to bring into the program. That's basically it. And I know everybody's different. Me, I'm a people person. I love people, and I feel like I can get along with anybody, be anybody's friend or whatever. And, we have to be careful there. But those guys, I think the receiver core there should be fine. But it is going to be a difficult transition. If once you get on the football field and you like, man, I don't know if I like this or like that, that's the part where I say these guys really needed this spring to really get a feel for the new coaches that have come in. So it's just all about mindset. I'm telling you guys, I think it's mindset. And if they go in there with the right attitude and ready to listen and ready to help turn this program around, then I think it'll be fine.
Tell us about the mindset of that 98 team, because we've heard stories where, the guys like Burlsworth and the senior leaders went to the new coaching staff, went to Coach Nutt and said, listen, we don't want this to be a transition year. We're not waiting to win. We want to win, and we want to win now. Is how the legend grows. And I'm sure the story's grown like a fishtail to a degree, but the mindset of that 98 team that went to the coaches and said, we're ready to win and win now. Tell us what the makeup was of that situation, because we've heard so much about it. I'd love your perspective.
It was just time. It was time. I mean, we knew we were talented, and we were beat down, with all no disrespect to Coach Ford and what he brought to the table. I'm grateful for him. But everybody was just ready for a change, ready for something different. And that's the mindset, a lot of us took. It ain't about rebuilding now. It ain't about, no, we want to come in. We need somebody that's going to make us feel wanted and care about us, and just could push us a little bit harder in a positive way. And that's what we all talked about, guys. We're going to go out and win now, because we knew we had talent. It was just a few pieces of the puzzle that were different. And then, when Coach Nutt came in, we all put those pieces of the puzzle together. I don't know if you guys remember, though, in that season, our motto was coming together. And a lot of things out there was like pieces of a puzzle had broken up, but actually mending those pieces together. And that was the big thing that year when Coach Nutt came in. And he came in and put us in a lot of great situations, and believed in us. He motivated us, and when we messed up, he got on us, but he also built us up. And man, we had an awesome year. I just hate we didn't win a national championship that year, because gosh, the way that year was going, it was unbelievable. So I think that I'm telling you, that's what happened. We all believed in each other. It was time for a change. We wanted to show everybody that we were talented and we can play. We just needed something different.
Speaking with Anthony Lucas, former Razorback wide receiver here on the Morning Rush. Coach, I was watching a game in 2010, Lakers-Celtics, and Reggie Miller was actually on the call, and this was the game that Ray Allen broke his all-time three-point record. With Marcus Monk and Jarius breaking your touchdown record, and then Jarius barely eclipsing your all-time receiving record, did you talk to the guys after that happened? Did you joke with them a little bit? How'd you go about that conversation when those guys passed you by?
I remember the touchdown record. I was at the SEC championship when Marcus Monk broke that record. I walked down. I didn't go on the field, but I walked down. I yelled over, and I told the guy to grab his attention. I congratulated him. And when I was like, man, you had to get me, huh? You had to get me. Then I saw when Jerry's, when he broke all the records, and the years he had, career he had. I said, man, congratulations, well deserved. I said, records are made to be broken. But I did throw this in here, guys. I did throw this in. I said, yeah, if I would have been in the Bobby Petrino offense or somebody like that, yes, I'll bet my records probably still be there or whatever. But no, records are made to be broken. I'm so blessed and grateful to be on the list with those guys and to be as one of the top receivers that ever played at the University of Arkansas. Man, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Was inducted to the Sports Hall of Honor in September. Then I was inducted to the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame in March, right before all this stuff hit. And man, I look back and you read all that stuff, and I'm like, man, you've done some amazing things. So, hey, records are made to be broken, and that's how it happens. I'm grateful for it.
So you mentioned the Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame. Coach, we had Tom Murphy on at 7:15, and kind of a unique perspective from him is he covered you in high school as well, which I thought was kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
So,
when he first told me that, I remember that, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he talked about how not only were you a tremendous football player, but you could hoop a little bit too, played AAU and stuff. Do you ever think about what your career would have looked like if you had chosen basketball instead of football at the next level?
I was talking to a guy I went to school with yesterday about, I was like, man, I wish I would have went out to play. I wish I would have tried out for basketball too, but that basketball was just a lot on your knees, on my knees, even though I got hurt playing football too. But I think about it. I thought about it from time to time. I couldn't dribble. That's one thing. I wasn't a big dribbler, so and I played post in high school. I was like the big man. But man, I couldn't dribble the ball that well, so I don't know how my basketball career would have ended up. I could shoot it, and I tell a lot of kids now, I say, y'all don't know, when I was a junior, my sophomore year through my senior year, I averaged 3 dunks a game. It's like, Coach, you couldn't dunk it. I was like, oh yes, I could. Yeah. So, but I think about it, but I don't think it would have been too good. I guess if I would have continued to work on my dribbling skills, because I could shoot, even though I was a big man, I could step out and shoot it a little bit. And, but who knows, man? That would have been amazing. I would have won. I always think about that. What if I would have went on the court and played too? So, but
fun stuff.
But, it was all football for me. So I just felt like football was the way for me to go, because I had more scholarship offers and more offers in football than I did in basketball. So, yeah.
Anthony Lucas with us here on the Morning Rush. A lot of our audience probably not aware that you coach high school football. You're on Kevin Kelly's staff at Pulaski Academy, a guy that's highly respected, not just in our state but around the country. Take us inside those meeting rooms. What is it like to be an assistant coach with one of the more prolific minds in offense that's willing to take chances and do things unconventionally?
It's been great. When I first got there, being a deep ball threat coach, he and I, we kind of butt heads on, throwing the deep ball, because, he's a big numbers guy and he talks about percentages. We're big on percentages, and I had to really buy into him, not just taking one of our guys and attacking the guy, giving him a move and running by him. I had to get him to understand how we could do that, because he was like, our kids are not big like you. They're not you, Anthony, and things like that. And I was like, I said, but Coach, we can do this. If he attacks him and sticks him inside and do this, he can run by. Because I've seen this, of course, you see the guys in practice, you see who can run and who can catch the deep ball. And it doesn't make a difference how big or tall or how fast. It's all about technique. So we kind of butted on that when I first took the job 8 years ago. But man, being there 8 years, making 6 state championship appearances and winning 5 out of the 6 has been great. Coach Kelly and the staff there, it's been great working with those guys. Our office and locker room talks, I'm going to tell you guys, for the most part, we don't even talk about football that much. We do get our football talk in. We talk about a lot of things in life, and then we compare it to football. But Coach Kelly is really good. I don't just say this because I work with him. He's very talented, so super smart, man. And not just only him, a lot of those guys I work with, Jason Wyatt, Madison Taylor, all our staff, they're so smart. And I think I try to take a piece of their puzzle, a piece out of their book when I'm coaching, because everybody on our staff we do things different. Everybody has our specialty on the staff, and it's been phenomenal. The one thing, a lot of people ask me, man, how do you deal with the punt thing? I say that's just like with anything, you look, you listen, and you look and you observe, and you just buy into what's going on. And I went there and I bought into it. It wasn't a hard adjustment for me because I felt like it was something different, and I had to adjust to. And this is the way it is, So you don't try to go in and try to change a lot, but you go in and try to give a little input. But with him, man, coach is really good. He's great, good to work for. He gets on us, he builds us up. I mean, he expects nothing but the best, and we try to bring the best every time we go out on the field and practice and in the game. But it's been great. You guys will be amazed if you all could sit in our office when we talk football and when we just talk about certain things. It's really unbelievable and really funny. You guys will be shocked.
Well, Anthony, you mentioned that at Pulaski Academy, y'all played in 6 state championship games, won 5. What's something, Arkansas is trying to find success at your alma mater, trying to get this football program on track. Success is success at any level. What are one or two things you've learned there that maybe could be lended to a program like Arkansas that could help breed success at the next level?
Well, one thing I learned is that, offensively and defensively in practice, we don't do a lot of individual. We don't do a lot of this. We run plays. We actually play the game every day we practice. We have team segments where we're rolling through plays. We had a coach a couple years ago come through and counted the number of plays we ran in a practice from team, and he said we ran like 230 some plays one day in practice, and that's what I think that's something different, that we do. We don't practice special teams that much because we onside kick. We spend, we spend about 5 to 10 minutes a week on kicking field goals, on extra points. We spend a lot of time on working on onside kick, but as far as returning the ball, kickoff return, and punt, we don't spend any time on punt because when a team even punting the ball, we don't do it, and then when a team punts to us, we don't spend any time in it because we see the ball kick, and then our kids just go off the field because if we put a kid back there, that creates a chance of us turning the football over, and we don't want to risk that. We do so many things on offense. We prefer to be on offense than opposed to trying to return a kickback. And now this year we got lucky. We returned 3 kickoffs for a touchdown this year, and 3 of them. That's something that hadn't happened in a long time. And we don't spend a lot of time on kickoff return, but hey, when you got a guy back there like Joe Hyman back there, those kids block for him, and and Joe is special. So I think though, but doing a lot of team, running your offense a lot, and so that guys can get a feel for what they're doing offensively, and defensively too. I think that was a huge change, something different for me too that I really like too, because we just run plays. I mean, we normally have about mainly three team sessions a practice, and I think that's something that could help your offense if you continue to do that.
Coach, I really appreciate. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say it's different strokes for different folks.
It's
and
work.
I know you guys know yes, I know you guys know about Pulaski Academy. We do a lot of things different, and that does have a lot to do with our success there. But like I said, man, Coach Kelly, he does a tremendous job. I'm so grateful to be able to work for him and work with him, and being able to learn some of the things that I've learned over the years as a coach. So, it's a great atmosphere.
Coach, as a Little Rock Christian alum, I've unfortunately felt the brunt of many Pulaski Academy beatdowns, so trust me, I know that all too well. He is Anthony Lucas, kind enough to give us some time here on the Morning Rush. Coach, we really appreciate it, and hopefully we can catch up later down the road.
God, I really appreciate you guys, and good luck on the rest of your show, and thanks for having me. It's a pleasure, and I want to say go Hogs and go Bruin.
Closing out.
All right, thanks for having me.
Absolutely,
Thanks, Luke.
Coach. Appreciate it.
All right.
He is Anthony Lucas. Unfortunately,
one of the best ever.
Yeah.
One of the best ever.
Tommy, you didn't ask him about the one state championship, though, that they lost in the last of the 6 attempts. You didn't ask the one. I guess that's probably my.
That was your prerogative to do that. You're the one that wanted to crow over your alma mater having that one.
Well, considering we got waxed in the last state championship that we participated in, we took on the Bruins, and I know there's a lot of Harrison fans listening that wish the semifinal game would have gone a different way as well. Kevin Kelly, he's a heck of a coach for good reason, Tommy.
And Anthony Lucas was one of the best ever to play wide receiver at Arkansas, so thanks for his time this morning.